We often hear that St. Louis is a one newspaper town, and it's true. Like a lot of big cities, we are down to one daily newspaper. But there's a whole range of weekly publications that appeal to a narrower targeted audience. The St. Louis American has been providing news for and about the St. Louis African American community since 1928. And although there are several newspapers that target that same readership, the St. Louis American is the most popular and widely read of them all, not only by African Americans, but by politicians, community leaders, business leaders, and ordinary citizens of every color who want to know more about the events, issues, and viewpoints of St. Louis's largest minority community.
Good afternoon, St. Louis American. This is Mary. How may I help you?
Well, I'm on your turf now. Usually I see you at Channel 9 doing Donnybrook.
Well, it's not like a studio, but we're pretty close, just like we are at the table there. And this is the newsroom. This is where we work. Reporters, myself, sports editor, and this is to our left where we lay out the paper every week.
How many people do you have working at the American?
21.
What is a black newspaper?
Well, I mean, they've changed over the years, obviously, since 1928, and it went through a different formula maybe in the 60s during the Civil Rights Movement. But basically, they've always been a newspaper that served the community, the African-American community, in more ways than just news, through advertisement, through entertainment, through coverage of, social events. These were things that you couldn't get in the main newspaper, the daily newspapers, because African-Americans just weren't allowed to be in the newspaper. So it was more than just civil rights. It was more than just race issues. It was just the things that all people need through their newspapers. Businesses need to advertise, and they need to reach consumers, and we offer that now just as the newspapers did 75 years ago.
The American has been recognized several times as the best black newspaper in America by the National Newspaper Publishers Association. But serving as a major voice of the African American community can at times be a mixed blessing, particularly when the question arises as to who speaks for whom.
I have 16 messages already about it, and I think we're going to have to write a response to it next week.
I don't think it's a good week if I don't get calls from both sides, and I do. I'll get a call saying, how can you consider yourself a black newspaper, and then I'll get a call a minute later saying, like, your newspaper is part of the problem with St. Louis because it's always black this and black that. And these are over the same stories. So, I guess we must be doing something right.
In spite of a wide range of opinions on many issues within the black community, the American also assumes that its readers share certain points of view based on their experiences as African Americans.
I think one of the reasons we exist is that there is an interest in looking at things from the African American perspective. Now, clearly we don't speak for all of the African American community, but we are very preoccupied with its concerns, its attitudes, its ideas, its grievances. Basically, there are some things that African Americans have in common. One could say some things about them in terms of sensibility or certain kind of social values, certain kind of traditional values, certain kind of tastes in music. And now there may be a range inside that community, but you could say some things